Hey everyone, I've got Nancy from Caraway here. Super excited for this chat. If people don't, I can't imagine nobody doesn't already know you, right? Like you're
I
kind
mean,
of
I'm
like
not that popular. Come on, Larry.
I mean, if you follow you on LinkedIn, you're like a little bit of a thought leader here in the e-commerce space. So really excited about this conversation around AI. When we were prepping for this, and I think it's kind of serendipitous. We're both wearing like you're wearing black, I'm wearing white, like the yin and yang of AI and CX. Like when we were talking about sort of your thoughts around AI, you were pretty honest that you had some hot takes, and so I think I'm excited to jump into this a little bit. Obviously, you do a lot of stuff with Caraway, but I really kind of want to focus this conversation around you because you do a lot of things with vendors, you have a lot of conversation, you go to a lot of events, you talk at a lot of events. And so I think like bigger picture for people listening, like they can really kind of get an understanding of where you really think personally that AI and customer experience is going. But maybe for those people that don't know you, let's just jump in, give us a little background on who Nancy is, what you do today.
Yeah, I'm basically the VOC champion, whether it's at Caraway or in the general ecom space. I've been in CX for about a decade now, aging
Oh,
myself just a little. But it's been a great journey. And outside of Caraway itself, I like to network and speak to a lot of peers because it gives me an understanding of what exactly is going on with AI outside of just such a controlled environment, which is, my current role at Caraway. It's ever changing, and sometimes there's a frustration I might have, and I feel like it's only me and it's isolated to me and my team, and it's so frustrating. But then you get to talk to other people, and it's like, oh no, this is actually an issue across multiple industries, whether it is ecom, whether it's the medical field, the I don't know, whatever field there is out there that's not these two that I just mentioned.
yeah, well, I think that's what I was excited to talk to you about because, like, I think, the speakers previously, we talked about like a lot of the positives on AI, and I still know that there's a lot of positives with AI. But when you and I were talking, it's like there's the downside of AI too, and how to really like think about it when you're talking to vendors. Maybe let's talk a little bit high level of how you are using AI today in customer experience and like where you think it's doing really well. And then I'd like to pick your brain on like when brands are talking to vendors, like what they really need to be looking at. So maybe kind of give us a little overview on how Caraway's leveraging AI or your roadmap for AI.
Yeah, honestly, once it became a buzzword, I couldn't help myself. I jumped right into it and started to explore how we can utilize it across the customer experience, whether it was on site, within our chatbot, internal for agents on an assist level. There are so many different touch points that AI can make. And the one thing that I actually wish I knew when I talk to vendors is the aspect of hallucinations. Nobody, when you are vetting a vendor, talks about hallucinations and what to expect. The first time I experienced a hallucination, my entire chatbot went down and everything was wrong. I felt like I was completely gaslit and alone. And then I reached out and spoke to a few people in the industry and found out, like, oh no, hallucinations are actually completely normal and you can expect it because as you're building and adding new resources to your AI, it just like humans can take a second to actually learn it and understand what information they're actually pulling or not pulling.
Okay, I'm a dummy. When you say hallucinations, I'm thinking something totally different. So like what for those listening that
What
are
were you
smart like
thinking?
me, like yeah, what do you mean by hallucinations?
Man, it's just when everything's completely wrong. I guess
Okay.
hallucinations is like the pretty word to use, but everything is wrong. Nothing is correct. It is speaking as if it has never learned about your company whatsoever.
So a lot of these conversations I'm having, brands are like really hyper focused for 2026, and we want to use AI to automate X% of our customer experience. For you and your team, do you have a goal like that, or are you just still trying to figure out where AI can really naturally fit in with your flows?
So it's kind of a twofold there. It's where does it fit in with the flows, but where does it make sense for the customer as well? Naturally, if it's something like Wizmo or was my order actually placed? Customers don't mind using AI for that. And that's something our agents don't need to actually pay attention to. So that's fine to automate. What I have noticed is when it actually comes to the issue part of customer experience, if there is an issue, no matter how good your chatbot or your email automation is set up, nobody wants to talk to a robot when they are feeling upset
Mm,
and slighted by a company.
yeah.
Which, rightfully so. If you've ever been on a call with FedEx, you know that you're yelling, speak to a human, no
Yeah,
matter what their automation is set up to do.
of course.
And it's where I want to be very cautious in 2026 is Can we have AI assist in those situations? Should AI just not be included whatsoever? What actually helps customers feel more heard and what makes them feel invisible by adding in that AI?
Yeah, and I think obviously I'm a huge fan of Caraway. You know this because we text all the time. I'm like texting you pictures of me cleaning my pots and pans. And for anybody who's like on the fence for the holidays about what to get their significant other for Christmas, like a non-toxic Caraway cook pan is like, here's my plug real quick for you guys because
Right.
they do clean so great. But you
And you
know,
have the yellow, right?
I
It's
got the
just
yeah, I
pop
got
of
the
color in
yellow.
the
Yep.
kitchen.
So it's like I think like obviously trendy product, high AOV, right? For your order value is pretty high. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of like not ripe for fraud, but I think you probably more than some brands have the potential for people to be like, "Ooh, I want to order a bunch of these. I want to try to scam the system or whatever." And I think AI in like pre-purchase, we talked a little bit about this like with you guys are leveraging no fraud today. How important is AI in catching like potential bad actors for you guys?
It's so important because when it comes to these criminals,
Yeah.
they know exactly how to overwhelm an agent. Naturally with anyone, if you're getting yelled at, you don't have that extra time to think. You're just like, okay, how can I solve this? How can I solve this? By utilizing a service like No Fraud, we're actually able to just rely on the hardcore data and history behind the customer and see exactly why someone is a bad actor. And thank you, Scott, for all of these fun catchwords.
Yeah.
Um,
I like you're
it
saying criminal better, but bad actor is I think a little bit more like the PC term for
but they are
the
criminals, like,
criminals. Yeah.
they are stealing from us,
Right.
and everyone thinks Caraway is this huge company, and, like, while we feel big, we're still a very small but mighty
Mhm.
team. So, having, no fraud in place really helps us verify the cold hard information, and we don't have to go searching for it. We don't have to consider what the customer is saying when we have the evidence that they're just getting one over on us.
And now, so AI for this is like saying, because I think when people think about fraud and catching fraud, it's like, okay, if I order 15 of the same um, frying pan, same size, I'm probably a fraudster or a avid gifter, right? And then like something comes up, but it's these like weird nuances that AI can catch, but then your team doesn't have to spend the time actually investigating it. It doesn't necessarily like I'm not a no fraud expert, but like the way that I understand it is it doesn't actually like decline the order, but maybe flag something to say like, "Hey, look into this a little more. This is something weird," right? Because it sees all this weird stuff. Or like, how are you really leveraging that from like an AI standpoint?
Yeah, so it's honestly there's a lot of folds within what no fraud can do for you, and it's not just those single, orders where it's like 10 fry pans. Candidly, we are stocking up these criminals' kitchens. Like they probably are so decked out in Caraway, it's insane. Because there's no pattern to it, and the easiest way to get away with it is to not have a pattern in your order.
Mm.
But within no fraud, it is able to tell us, are they ordering from Washington, but they're in Nevada? That big stark difference there is really important. Are they sending, their order to an open house and not an actual residential address?
Mm.
Those are things that typically we would have to take the time to actually research on our own. But with no fraud system, they're doing it automatically for us and pushing it over to us. I think a lot of people think of AI and they're like, oh, it's ChatGPT. It's just going to answer, for me in a paragraph, but it does way more than that when it comes to like analyzing your actual data and presenting it to you.
So when you're talking to these vendors, and I know you talk to a lot of vendors that maybe you're not even looking to leverage just for Caraway, but just to for your own personal interests, and like obviously a lot of brands come to you and ask for advice. You said the thing, we're talking about the good and the bad. Like you said the thing that AI is a buzzword for a lot of people. And I kind of make that joke even with Parcel Lab when I talk about some of our AI products. I'm like, all those fancy buzzwords, AI, machine learning, blah, 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 right? And so when you're talking to these vendors and they're telling you that their AI is so great, like what are you looking into to know is this is this real or is this just all fluff?
Yeah. Well, one, as soon as I'm looking at a vendor, I'm doing my own research as to who's actually signed up with this vendor, and I'm reaching out to them on my own. Obviously, you can have references set up by the company, but those are going to be their best customers. I want to talk to the actual, CX leaders that are utilizing this product that might not get the perfect CSM
Mm.
or, the best attention from someone because they're a smaller brand versus a larger brand. That's one. And the second part is I actually press the companies and I ask them like, okay, I know all the good, but what's the bad? What has been a sticky situation that you've actually had to resolve for a company before? And asking them to be very vulnerable with that is huge. And there's companies that play into that and they'll let me know like, hey, this happened and it took us 2 weeks to fix and we had to do X, Y, and Z, but it's not going to happen again because we actually researched it and this brand is still with us and they're happy, et cetera, et cetera. There are on the other fold a lot of companies that are like, yeah, well, nothing bad happens. We're here. We're always here to help. And they
Yeah.
kind of brush over the question. So that's never too helpful when I'm looking for a vendor. I want the transparency. I know things are going to go wrong. There's no platform that I use as a partner that has never not had an issue. There's
Yeah.
always an issue one way or another. And it's about showing up for, your partner and speaking with them and being that vulnerable with them.
When someone tells you, so a common theme of these conversations have been like, oh, we want to automate, this tool will automate 30% of your customer tickets or inquiries, whatever it might be. If somebody comes to you and tells you, oh, we can do 70%, are you like, yeah, probably not, right? Because you were saying before when we were prepping for this that even for Wismo calls, you find that your customers try to bypass the AI all the time, right? Where other brands are saying like, oh yeah, the AI agents for Wismo are great. So I think something that I'm learning from talking to all of you guys today is that AI looks different for every company. It can't really be like a blanket because you have to look at the customer, the product type, the demographic, the location, like, and the brand image. And I think obviously, like, Caraway's a very visible brand. You're visible on LinkedIn, you're visible on social media. Like, people feel like it's really approachable. So, probably aren't super fans of if they sniff AI or think it's AI, like dealing
Yeah.
with that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you make your AI, how good I think it is. You, Larry, anybody in the ecom world, I can hit up Tanner from Order Protection and he can tell me I have the best AI possible. But if there is an everyday person who's a teacher in an elementary school, it's how they want to use the AI. And we have to focus on the consumer as well because they're the ones who are actually going to be adapting to it. And we're just not there yet. I think that there is a large amount of people that are curious about it in their personal lives, but when it comes to the actual service and experience that you're getting from a company, they want that human connection.
Yeah.
Especially with Caraway Home, we're all about spreading the word of, creating a non-toxic home and the healthier alternatives that you can opt into. And that's not something you want to talk to a robot about. Although apparently a lot of people do go to GPT and ask health advice.
Yeah.
Uh, they don't want to do that when they're shopping and dropping $500 on a cookware set. That's just not something that computes to them. If it's for personal research, that's fine. When it comes to spending your own money, you want that human connection, especially since we're really moving away from brick and mortar stores as well. Like that's just
Mhm.
not something that an everyday shopper can get anymore.
Right. I think that the buying trends have changed.
Yeah.
So,
I
I mean,
remember I worked in retail before, and if you were in retail, you couldn't be on your phone 10 years ago. Now you walk into a store, you can't find anyone on the floor to help you. It's
I know.
insane.
I know. I was in Macy's yesterday and I felt that exact same way. I was like, where is somebody that I can like actually just ask a question to find something?
And they're
Uh
not the experts anymore either. So, like, it used to be 15 years ago, brands would go into Macy's and teach Macy's employees about their products and how to speak to it. We don't have that layer anymore. So that's why people are opting to go online and shop online more because they want to hear directly from the brands why they should be investing in you.
and you can train your AI agent to know all about your product. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what Macy's needs as a marketplace is a bunch of brand AI agents that are just already trained up and you can just chat with them directly
Just
through
put
the
my face
marketplace.
on an iPad and,
Yeah.
have me roll around the store, and I'll tell everyone about Caraway.
Um, so to wrap it up, like looking forward, let's say like looking forward, even 12 months, because I think technology changes just so fast. Like, where do you think the future of AI and customer experience is going to be? Like, if you had to guess, or where you'd like to see it go?
I wanna see it stronger on the analytics side, personally, as well as the assist side. So I wanna see how I can utilize AI to get my agents' speed up to date and have all the information they need at the touch of their fingertips. That's gonna help them be the best human contact possible versus just layering it on site, on site, on site. So I think that there is going to be a strong shift of what AI looks like internal facing versus external facing.
Yeah, I love that. And I think great conversation. If people want to connect with you, they can connect with you on LinkedIn, right?
Yes. Or through
Obviously.
Larry, just,
Or through
he'll
me,
make
come to one of our CX Mixer events. I'll make an introduction, but appreciate you sharing your like candid thoughts on this and always a pleasure, Nancy.
of course. Bye.